All right, listen, recently released a budgeting video. I am really budgeting now. This is that college level ramen noodle diet, trying to save as much money as I possibly can. Trying to knock out the last expenses that I have, looming over my head from this whole renovation house project. About $2.5 grand left on payments there, so not that much. On top of that, another issue just came up. My truck broke down as I was going over to my friend's house over the weekend, and it's in the shop now. Received a call. It's got about $2 grand worth of work on it. Now this truck for me has been a blessing, but a curse, because it was really what enabled me to get through all of the projects that I had on the house. Without the truck bed, without being able to move large items, taking stuff to the dump, back and forth, getting furniture into the house, all these different things, moving appliances, I would be screwed. But at the same time, the gas on it is horrible. Every time I fill my tank, it's like $150, and it gets me through about a week and a half. So, factor that into the budget. It gets pretty high for transportation costs. And on top of that, I've had to make a lot more repairs on it than I would have liked, probably putting total $4 grand worth of work in the past 2 years of ownership maybe. And on that note, I can still get a relatively good deal for it, around 10 grand. I paid 15 grand for it. So what I'm gonna do is fix up the truck, and I'm actually gonna list it and try and sell it. And I'm gonna try and get smart with the next car that I buy. I'm gonna get something that's really good on gas. As I've wrapped up these projects, I don't really need the truck anymore. It's been a great truck for me. Unfortunately for me, my dream car is a truck. And doesn't matter what it is, this one was an '09 Ford F-150 XLT that I just loved. Every time I'm going in it, I actually enjoy driving, and usually I hate it. But now I'm backtracking just a little bit, because honestly, I need to get something that is going to last a while, something that I can hold on and not have to shell out so much transportation costs, and ultimately save money in the long run. So I'm looking to get a used car here pretty soon, and that's really honestly just going to help out with my budget. Now, I'm probably going to sell the truck, take those proceeds, roll it into getting a decent, maybe around the $15,000 range for a car. Been looking at a couple options, and we'll take it more seriously here pretty soon. Probably showcase that buying process. Just this year has been already off to a rocky start in terms of my finances. And I can't wait to just start getting back into the stock market and investing. One of the things that I'm really trying to do here on this YouTube channel is fully document everything to do with my finances. So really my struggles along with my successes. And I want to be able to look back in the future and say, wow, I started from the bottom and now I'm here. I'd be like a mini Drake, right? But no, seriously, I want to be able to look back at these times, because really I know right now is some of the most trying times that I have financially because of everything that I've been working on. And for the first time ever, I am in a little bit of debt. Debt for me is something that is super overwhelming, and so I'm trying to do everything I possibly can to get out from underneath. Now, for me, there's really 7 main things that you can do to sort of reset your finances, get yourself back on track, and that's what I've been trying to do here to kick off the new year. And so at first, the first tip that I have is you're definitely going to want to set goals financially. Now, for me, my goal is to get away from debt, right? I want to be debt free, and I'm going to be able to do so probably within the next 2 months, which is super exciting for me. Now, I have been really intentional this year so far about all of my time, what I'm spending my time and effort on. And so I even have this planner now, which I never really documented my time, but I've been doing time blocking and all these different things, and really trying to bolster up my focus, right? And make sure that I'm actually putting time where I am going to benefit, not only financially, but mental health wise. And so that's been a really important and key factor into how I've been handling my finances this year. So the first thing I did was set some goals, and kind of weekly I look at the goals and I look at the steps that I can actually take towards working towards them. So for that, for example, getting out of debt, right? What can I do actively? Well, I can increase my income. And that's actually the secret number 2, is increase your income. Now, what am I doing to increase my income right now? Well, this video right now, this is a side business for me, YouTube. It's really interesting. I have such a big passion for creating these videos and documenting my financial journey, and just connecting with you guys out there and being able to go along this experience together. Now, other ways that I'm trying to increase my income, selling stuff on the side. So I have a lot of old video gear and equipment that was pretty expensive to buy, but I haven't really been using as much, or I've upgraded since then. So older cameras, older microphones, things like that. I've been selling that kind of stuff. And so that's really been helpful to offset some of the expenses that I've had. And other areas that I've been looking at, if you guys have heard of ChatGPT, I think there's a lot of opportunities there. Potentially creating a newsletter and being able to use affiliate marketing and things so much easier than what it historically has been like. I have thought about making a completely dedicated video on ChatGPT and how I think there's different opportunities to make money on that. So leave a comment down below if you think that would be interesting for you. But yeah, that's kind of number 2 there. I've been trying to increase my income pretty actively. Now, number 3 is tracking all of my finances. Now, I have been really bad about tracking my expenses as of lately. I was using an automated tracker and I found that I just wasn't going in, even though it was linked up to my bank account, my credit cards and things like that. I wasn't really going in to look at my finances and seeing what I was spending my money on. And I got to the point where I was writing checks of, $5,000-$10,000 at a pretty frequent basis for a lot of the work that was going on in the house, which is just crazy to think about. So I got into the mindset where I was spending that kind of money and thinking, oh, like if I want to go out with friends or if I want to go out and get food, what's an extra, $50 to $100 that I'm spending here and there? And I really kind of slipped into this horrible mindset where if I wanted something, I'd just go out, get it, and I wouldn't really think too much financially about it. Now, that is something that I have really never struggled with before. And I want to make sure that I am spending in the most appropriate way. And I'm actually spending within the means that I want to be living, right? And so I feel like I've been doing these somewhat, I guess, luxurious to my lifestyle. I mean, maybe they're not for most people, but I really just kind of let myself go financially in that way. And that is super critical for me because I haven't been looking at those expenses. So if you know where your money is going at all times, it's going to be so much easier to cut out unnecessary expenses. For example, I had some subscriptions I didn't even know I was paying for that I haven't been using, different video streaming services, things of that nature. So I was able to cut those out immediately and start seeing some monthly returns on that. That is, really, really key for me. Now, reducing your debts, obviously, I think, as a goal, but also as a topic. So I'd say that's kind of number 4, like getting your finances on track. You want to be debt free. I don't know anybody who wants to have debt aside from like a mortgage payment that hopefully is relatively low interest, even though the rates are super high right now. But that is pretty much one of the only debts I'm comfortable with. Now, I don't have a car payment that I'm making. I paid that outright. And I don't envision myself having one because they have such high interest on them. And it doesn't make sense in my mind. But as you're tracking your expenses, what this is going to allow you to do is number 5 here, create a budget. Just knowing like, hey, I'm going to set and look at my income, right? Look at how much I'm making on a regular basis and just understand, hey, I want to be investing so heavily into the stock market right now, especially because it is going down a ton. And in my lifetime, the stock market really has only gone up since I've been able to invest anyways. So it's just really, trying to take advantage of everything that I possibly can. So what I'm going to do is set a budget that is going to allow me to comfortably just throw excess funds right into the market and start seeing returns for the future. Like that's what I'm super excited for. Now, on that note, as you're creating a budget, I think it's super important to make sure that you're saving. And so I think number 6 here would be automate your savings. Now, for me, it's just as soon as I get paid, I want to be able to put some money into savings, whether that is for reestablishing my emergency fund, which I currently do not have. Like I have a couple $1,000s in the bank right now as I'm just paying back these expenses, which is not the way that I want to live. But that is priority number 1 for me, is to get that emergency fund intact. And then on top of that, save. I want to save for more properties. I want to save for better financial opportunities that come in the future, different investment opportunities. Like having cash is king. Even though right now it's kind of a struggle with inflation levels being so high, I still want to be able to sideline and have those goals in mind. Like, yeah, I want to be able to buy different rental properties and build out myself with a real estate portfolio. I want to be a mini mogul here in the area that I live in, New Hampshire. So that is definitely something that I'm actively working towards. And what I'm going to do is, as I'm getting those paychecks, just automatically have withdrawal set to go into another account that's going to separate my savings, so I don't really even need to worry about any of that stuff. Now, I think the hardest thing to keep in mind is that when you're building your finances back up, it takes time. It's not something that happens overnight, and that's the worst part. Like you tend to lose motivation, or I found that I've lost motivation as it's taken a lot longer than I would have hoped to get my finances on track because of all these emergency expenses that keep popping up. So it's just trying to have that mindset of, I need to stay on track. I need to have a clear-cut goal, get a timeline established. I've been looking at this timeline now for probably 6 to 8 months trying to pinpoint the end of February into March for when I'm out of debt and can really hone in on throwing money into the stock market. But just having that in mind is super helpful for me, just understanding where I'll be at and keeping me on track. Now, the 7th tip that I have is just to seek, conversations, advice from maybe people that are professionals for finances. But for me, it's really talking to peers and other people who understand, retiring early, financial goals, building side businesses, trying to increase their income, all of the above. Having those conversations are so critical towards keeping me focused and encouraged to go along the lines that I am currently on. So for me, obviously I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't answer your regular investment questions and, what stocks you should buy and things like that. But I'm always happy to talk about, finances and things like that. If you have any questions regarding my own personal finances, or, if there's anything that we can chat about, I'd be more than happy to help out. Now, if you made it this far in this video, I would really appreciate it if you left a like. It means a lot to me. It helps get this video more exposure, helps get the channel out there, and, and it really just motivates me to continue making videos like these. So thank you so much, guys, and have a great day.